Israel in Boston, and this is The Jewish Perspective. On this morning's program, we'll hear about a nonprofit social action group called Volunteers for Israel, and we'll be treated to Taza chocolates, which are OU kosher and produced right here in Somerville. But we begin this morning with Keshet, which means rainbow in Hebrew. It's a national grassroots organization for Jewish LGBTQ people. Keshet strives to cultivate the spirit and practice of inclusion in all parts of the Jewish community. This morning, we're going to focus on the Keshet Parent and Family Connection, which is a confidential support program. Joining me this morning is Keshet's Associate Director of National Programs, Joanna Ware, and two involved parents, Ann Falchuk and Sabina Fesco. Thank you all for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
So, Joanna, tell us a little bit about Keshet and then about this specific program, if you would.
Absolutely. So Keshet is a national organization based here in Boston with offices in Denver and San Francisco. And our mission is to work for the full inclusion of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer Jews in all aspects of Jewish life. And this program in particular works with parents of LGBTQ Jews, many of whom are straight, some of whom are not, to develop really a national movement of parents who are working to support other parents and to expand the conversation about LGBTQ Jews in Jewish community and the experiences of parents when their children come out and over the course of their lifetimes.
And this was prompted by what? By who?
This was really prompted by these parents. Here in Boston, a group of parents came to us and said, we care about this work, we want to support other parents, and we want to work with Keshet. How can we develop a program that does that? And I think that both Sabina and Ann can tell you more about what brought them specifically to this.
Yeah, I'd be very interested in asking that question of each of you.
Well, when a child comes out, the parent comes out too. The child is prepared to come out, but the parent isn't. And when you have other parents to help you guide and sit with you and talk about the same thing, it's very comforting.
Yeah, I also read what you said, and that is that the child has probably been preparing for some time to take that step out, and the parent has to respond or react immediately.
And that was something our children needed to learn. When our son came out, his immediate reaction was, okay, everything okay now? And we looked at him and said, you know, it took you some time, you have to give us some time. And I think that's an important message that we want to give parents, that we've all been through the shock and the pain and expectations that are no longer going to be fulfilled, and that's fine and that's legitimate. And you need time, and you need to talk about it, you need to work with your child. And that's what we're here to help, for people to understand that what they're going through is absolutely legitimate.
And when you've worked with other parents or reflecting upon your own experience, how long does it take people to reach a transcendent stage? And they don't enter it instantly.
I mean, for the parent?
For the parent.
It really depends. It depends on support from the family. With some families, they have no support from brothers or sisters or grandparents, and that makes it very difficult. In my situation, my whole family was just open. It wasn't a situation, so it did make it a lot easier. But I listen to parents who don't have that support, and it's a very, very difficult time. It's a difficult time between the child and the parent.
It's also difficult if you're Orthodox. I'm Orthodox, and we raised our children Orthodox. And although my husband and I, that didn't make a difference for us, in the Orthodox community, there is a difference. And the issue for parents in an Orthodox community is we need our Orthodox community. That's where we get our support. And if people are afraid or have any concerns about letting people know because they'll be shunned or there'll be some kind of negative feedback, That's a big issue because so much of Orthodoxy revolves around the community. And that's one reason that I was very much interested, because I wanted other Orthodox parents to recognize that the most important thing is the love for your child.
And do you feel that you've been able to increase sensitivity and awareness within the Orthodox community?
It's a very slow process. Fortunately, this generation, the generation that my son is in, the kids are totally accepting, and it's fine. And I think as years go by, it'll be better. But we're not, any of us in the community with gay or lesbian or transgender children, we're not here to change the halacha. The halacha is a separate issue. It's more a matter of God created everyone in his image. God created them gay, the folks gay and lesbian, and everyone should be respected, and everyone should be welcomed. A Jew is a Jew.
And let's say for some within the Jewish community, within the Orthodox community, contending with halakha is an issue. It may be less an issue in those communities within the Jewish community who are less observant with regard to Jewish law.
Except, yes. However, as we all know, people pick and choose. There are 613 Taryag mitzvot.
613 commandments.
Thank you. People pick and choose. When you're in shul or someone's in shul, no one checks on your practices. So why should anything be different for someone who's gay or lesbian?
I want to also have you reflect upon the ways in which the weight is lifted, because I think that we've spoken to some degree about the weight that parents might feel initially, but the success stories are huge, and I think to be able to turn our audience in that direction, how do you what happens when that weight lifts?
I'm not sure the weight lifts. I feel as a parent, I'm always coming out. I'm always having to explain to people regarding marriage. My daughter got married, and with every venue, I had to make it clear these are going to be two women getting married in a Jewish ceremony. Are you comfortable? And it surprised me that I had to do that still. I mean, this is 2013, and I'm still doing this.
I think there are, however, stories of parents who've been involved in the program. There's a woman who's an active leader in one of our other chapters in another city who comes from an Orthodox community. And when she came out, she talked about how profoundly isolating it was for her to realize that she had had this cohort of peers with whom she'd gone through every major life cycle event in her children's life, and suddenly she had no one. And I think she actually spoke to Sabina and then got involved in the program and has helped start an LGBT Jewish organization in her city and is really leading this work because she had support, because she was able to turn to peers, work through her emotional experience, and now she's able to really, drive this work forward in a meaningful way in her community.
Success breeds success, and sensitivity breeds more sensitivity, and that's really, I think, part of the message that you've come to share, isn't it? That engagement and involvement alters the equation. So what do you imagine looking further down the road? Do you think that the next generation is going to be different?
The generation that I'm surrounded by is different, but I'm not naive to understand if you move out of Boston, New York, LA, or Miami, I'm not sure how different it is.
The work's certainly not done, and we're seeing incredible progress. We are seeing Jewish institutions and Jewish people across the country who recognize that LGBT people are in their communities, are affecting their lives, their families' lives, the people who are deeply part of their communities are people for whom this is personal and real. And I think that's what shifts culture, is when we realize it affects the people we love.
Yeah.
I think the more people that come out, the more people that are vocal, I do think it will shift. I'm optimistic, and I see with my son and his peers tremendous hope for optimism. I think they're doing a great job
I
leading
share
the way.
that with you. And I want to thank the three of you for what you do, what you're doing, and for sharing it with all of us.
Thank you, Heather.
To contact Keshet, go to their website, keshetonline.org. We'll return after this break with Volunteers for Israel.